name is Suzanne. I'm an energy healer and teacher, and I am sharing my insights and channeled messages from meditation for 7 days. This is day 4. So the channeled message today was so powerful and so interesting, and also the flowers that came through. So I'm going to share those in a little bit. But first, just an update on what has happened based on the information I received the last few days. I have been using that practice a lot that I was given before, where I'm calling my energy back to me live in the moment when I notice I'm thinking about the future, or there was a situation where I felt slighted in a social situation, called my energy back, felt better immediately. So when you're full of yourself, it's hard for other things to bother you because you remember, like, oh, somebody else's issues aren't my problem. Like, if somebody is being, not kind to me or socially whatever off, like, that's not my fault. That's their own wounds. And the more full of your own energy you are, the easier it is to remember that. And I also noticed even small things, like, I am a big salsa dancer, and so one of the reasons I love dancing is it keeps you very present in the moment. But I noticed even when dancing, there were times that I was like thinking about who I was going to dance with next, or noticing something else going on, and I was really pulling my energy and attention back to the moment. So it's helped me be more present too, but it's also helped a lot with, I think, creating timelines, because you're creating other timelines when you let your energy go off into possible futures that you're worried about or anything like that. So that's been awesome. Today I was feeling kind of scattered, and whenever I went to meditate, I was having all kinds of like flashbacks, just random memories from throughout my life, to the point where it was like very hard for me to concentrate. And I spent quite a long time just letting that flow, because every time I would start trying to do healing on myself, it was just kind of chaotic. And I think that's because of all the stuff I've been clearing out, particularly in my root chakra, still sending it healing, because that's what I was told in meditation, if you remember. And also because of that injury that I have from the accident. Lower in your body is where denser energies are stored, and that's things from your past, things about basic security, which a lot of times related to our childhood. And so all that stuff a lot of times is in your root chakra and like your legs and feet, and also past life stuff. So I have been getting like downloads about that. So that's been really interesting. So eventually things kind of calmed down in the meditation. I was in my healing space where I'm connected to the earth, and also have cosmic divine energy flowing through me. I was struggling with the role of certain relationships in my life. Like in dating, for example, if this isn't going anywhere, why is this person back in my life? Why does this feel so destined and whatever? And what I got was, you asked for clarity and you asked for this path. And when you ask for signs of what's going on and who someone is, and you ask to see them clearly, or you ask for a sign of which direction to go, don't be upset at the sign. Like, celebrate what you would consider a negative sign as much as you would celebrate a positive one, because in truth, you're actually getting clarity, and that is going to prevent pain later from like extending a relationship that's not for you. And also, it just feels better. Like, nobody really wants to get more entangled with somebody, I don't think, than they have to if you're genuinely looking for a partner. Whenever I asked about that, I got that these relationships aren't bad, they're just temporary. You've enjoyed them. And I said, I'm ready for one that's lasted though. And I literally heard, are you? And I was like, oh. And it was like, can you love yourself without wavering or taking a day off? That will bring you all that you desire. What would you do if you were already cherished? That is magnetic. And then I saw a poppy flower. And for anybody that doesn't know, I am an energy healer, and my main energy modality is using the frequency of flowers. So kind of similar to how Bach flower essences work, except for I'm doing it energetically. And I use my relationship to the flowers and to nature to call upon those flowers to be with you in your energy field. And so they're just as effective that way because flower essences are totally vibrational. There's no actual plant matter in them. So the poppy, I thought it was really interesting because I was experiencing a lot of like existential pain, and poppy is for pain, not just physical, but spiritual. I thought that was really interesting. I don't think I've seen a poppy before. They help you come to a place of rest, receptivity, and inner containment. It helps deal with patterns of addiction, restless seeking and experimentation, along with ever-fluctuating desires. One who needs this flower essence is challenged to learn how to hold life experiences even when unpleasant, pain, anxiety, or uncertainty. Gradually, the soul learns even greater inner responsibility, calm containment, and self-mastery. It is this chalice of gold within the heart that learns to receive and embrace all of life so that the very light they seek becomes the light that they radiate as a blessing to others. I thought that was so beautiful because that's literally like my mission, you know, to receive and embrace all of life, even the tough moments, to stay open and to be a light. And I thought that was really beautiful because, you know, pain in relationship also has to do with seeking something outside of yourself. And I'm aware of that, but that doesn't change the fact that we still do it. Like as humans, we do also have a need for connection. So it's a weird balance between how much is it okay to need, and am I being overly needy? Am I looking outside of myself? Or do I just need oxytocin because I'm a freaking human right now? You know, so it's been an interesting balance for me, especially as somebody who's like, you know, very in touch with my body and like sensual and sexually awakened. You know, when is it okay to engage with somebody for the joy of the moment when you feel like a heart connection, but there's no commitment and you know it's not going anywhere? There's a lot of judgment in the spiritual community about that. But the truth is, if you're truly connected through the heart in that moment, is there anything wrong with that, or is that all dogma? So that's been really interesting because one of the main reasons that people cite for not being intimate with people is that you get energy cords and their energy on you. Well, what if you're a skilled energy healer and you can clear it right off? So it's a different, you know, I think it's kind of a limiting belief to think that you can't. But I did see when I was cutting cords, I did see a lot of connection with like the person that I have been with recently. And a lot of his energy was in my womb. So I did cut the cords really thoroughly because I kept feeling reconnected to him. And I went in and like deep cleaned like energy from him, energy from other people, just to make sure, give it an extra deep energetic clearing there. And that's one of the reasons why learning energy healing is so good, because anytime you're intimate with somebody, anytime you have a deep conversation with somebody, you know, your family, anything, their energy is getting into your energy field, and the cords are also getting reinforced, and emotions can run through those and kind of mess with you as well. So that's definitely one of the benefits of either learning to do energy work yourself, which I teach, or getting an energy healing, which I also do, because that can clear you off. So I instantly felt better once I got his energy off of me. I think whatever, you know, he was ruminating on was reverberating inside of me. So I think that does speak to why energetic hygiene is so important, because other people's energy is getting inside of your energy field or in your body, and it can throw all your moods and everything, inspiration, everything off, because your own energy is your inspiration, your own moods. You already have enough moods. You don't need everyone else's moods too. So yeah, that was interesting. I cleared that off. And then as I was giving healing to my heart, a really young part of me came forward. I saw her as like a little girl, and she was seeking healing in order to feel loved. You know, the same thing that I'm seeking now, and that echo from the past of moments when I didn't feel loved, that little girl that felt rejected. And it was literally like, I saw like a paper heart, and it kind of reminded me of one of those little things that you folded in elementary school that you open and they have different messages. And the vibe I was getting is that it was like a part of me that had been rejected really young as like a child out of groups of friends or whatever, maybe even boys. And So I held her and sent her healing. And usually whenever I offer healing energy to parts of myself, I offer it as kind of a golden orb. But in this case, I saw it as like that pink paper heart, but like glowing with energy. It was really cute. And so I gave it to her and she accepted it. And then she re-merged with me as that healed, more whole version after I had comforted her and sent that healing in the past. I think it connects a lot to what I was seeing too about, can you love yourself without wavering or taking a day off? Because, you know, I know I can feel that it's a reverberation of my childhood whenever I abandon myself, when I abandon and don't get enough sleep, when I abandon my physical practices, you know, my diet, or going to yoga, or getting enough sun, my meditation practices, whatever. Not having your basic needs met in particular is definitely something that comes from root chakra, again, pain from childhood. So all of this stuff is being stirred up as I'm healing that chakra, because what happens a lot of times, we see old memories as they're cycling out when we heal something. So that's actually super relevant to everything that's been unfolding. After that, I did more general clearing and healing, and then I saw an orchid. And orchid is one of my favorite flowers, just physically. I love them. I think they're so beautiful. And the feeling that I was getting is that part of the message was that, you know, orchids in the rainforest, naturally, they live on trees and their roots are fully exposed. So they're so exposed, but that's how they find nourishment. And they have that beauty and they can live anywhere because of that exposure. And I don't know, maybe because I'm feeling vulnerable and feeling exposed, that's what I got from it. And also, you know, orchids are kind of delicate. Like, they need a certain temperature range and everything to bloom. And so maybe I need certain circumstances in my environment to fully bloom. Whenever I looked up the orchid to see what its energy was, what other people have got from it, I also thought it was really relevant. The orchid fine-tunes itself, redefining its form over and over amongst its own thorns and convoluted pathways. Its luscious flowers can twist, bend, lean, and climb when seeking the light, but remain succulent in the shade. Their blooms will shrivel up and die if exposed for too long to the heat of direct sunlight. Your sexuality is like that too. You must, with constant striving, seek the highest, fullest expression of your passions, and yet learn to temper them as well. And like the orchid tree, you too must find your way amongst thorns and tortured pathways until you come to rest in the pure realization of your divine sexual nature, symbolized here by the orchid flower. So it removes blocks to emotional evolution, awakens creative impulses, sexuality, and eros energy, removes non-beneficial energetic imprints during the 9 months in the womb, and also heals any disconnection or dysfunction with one's blood mother or maternal figures. And that's really interesting, because I was also getting that something today had to do with my mom. It wasn't really clear, but I did feel like something was, like, you know, energetically connected to her, and I prayed for her. But yeah, so that's really beautiful. So after that, I was feeling a lot of sweetness. I was feeling much better. I really disconnected from everyone else. I had also seen where I was still connected to one of my friends, and I could see her sister's energy on her, and then therefore on me. And then my friend that passed away, his mom had texted me about his funeral, and I was actually connected to her as well. So yeah, those energy cords can be really tricky, and sometimes when you're feeling funky, yeah, it's not you at all. So after that, I did a little more channeled writing. It said, after the part about being cherished and seeing the poppy, it said, you are seeing clearly now. You can't force someone into a box they don't fit into, and you will be glad you didn't when someone comes along that destroys the box. Then I asked, what is the energy of heartbreak? And I got, it is that of losing oneself, of outsourcing the connection to one's own soul and source to another. The alchemy of connection is in the opening that allows divine light and one's essence to flow more fully into the body. A physical manifestation of the divine. This light heals and transmutes the cracks where light was seeping out. Your practice of closing energy leaks is becoming love without an outside catalyst. When lovers separate, the human reaction to pain is the protection of closing. The halt in the flow of one's own energy and divine energy is the source of the pain. You leave the realm of connection to source to remember the connection to source, to experience it in the physical. The proverbial sun on your face after a long winter. Contrast and polarity serve the greater purpose of remembering love for all that is. Presence is love. Continue to call your energy back to the moment. Become accustomed to more of your essence filling your body. This will help in all aspects. Those that know your soul will be magnetized more effortlessly. Opulence will flow as your creator spirit is brought more into physical form. As for others, trust that people and places are divinely guided in and out of your life. Give them your all. This divine orchestration is a gift. With trust comes ease and joy. Have fun. Stay in your body when you ponder decisions, and they will be aligned with your inner being. I think this is really interesting and relevant because it ties in again with that practice of calling all your energy back to you. And I had also noticed a while back that whenever I make decisions that aren't aligned, particularly for my body, I kind of disassociate when I do it. And I've noticed if I ground myself before making decisions, and now I will be calling my energy back too, that it's much harder to make a decision that isn't in a line with your true self. So whether it's drinking, eating something, something else physical, like it's typically physical things for me, but maybe this applies to other areas of life for other people, maybe certain spiritual practices. If you were grounded in your energy, they wouldn't resonate with you. Or people, maybe you don't feel safe around them if you're truly grounded and you have to disassociate to enjoy it. Or certain environments like clubs, for example, I don't feel comfortable there, so I have to disassociate to enjoy it. But yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. It's just like you're safe to have fun as long as you're grounded when you make your decisions. So yeah, I love that. I love the flowers. I love how everything has been unfolding. It's been really interesting for me to recount what I experience in meditation because I experience so much that I kind of take it for granted at this point. But this is how it is with my healing clients as well. Often I channel a bunch of different information, and afterwards when I'm writing it out to send to them just so they can reference it later, I'm like, wow, that was a lot of information. But yeah, so if you're interested in learning more about flower healing, feel free to message me. Or if you want to learn to self-heal, to be able to cut those cords, disconnect from people, and be clear in your own energy, I also teach self-healing. So follow along if you want to see what happens throughout this journey and whatever content I choose to make next. You can also follow me on Instagram. That's my main platform. And Threads for writing like these channeled messages. So I hope everyone has a lovely day.